Hey folks, Deano here again. This time, take a look at another Figuarts Dragonball bootleg. This is Android number 18. And yeah, a bootleg of a very old figure at this point. The original Androids, did they release in like 2017? Something like that? It might be on the box, we'll check. But yeah, there was a bootleg of this figure and 17 back in the day. It was not great. You can see old reviews from other YouTubers about her, but yeah, it was so terrible I didn't even bother buying it. But yeah, long story short, ever since I had to sell my 17 and 18, one of my biggest regrets in collecting was selling the officials of these two, because they still hold up today. I'll be completely honest there. They pretty much just need to reissue them. They do not need to do anything fancy to them, to be completely honest with you. But no, I don't think Tamashii will ever do that. So we do have to rely on newer versions. But yeah, this bootleg in particular, released at the same time as the Super 17 bootleg that I reviewed. The same company has also released an updated, for some bizarre reason, Super Vegeta and Full Power Super Saiyan Goku. Two figures which, yeah, that not really that popular, to be honest. The one that they've released that is kind of popular is the 2.0 battle damaged Super Saiyan Gohan, Super Saiyan Super Saiyan 2. On the fence about reviewing that. If people want me to, then let me know and I will. But yeah, straight up bootlegs these days are few and far between. So when I get the chance to review one, I kind of like doing it, to be honest. They're cheap and they usually get a laugh. So yeah. Speaking of, this figure, it's not the greatest, to be completely honest with you, but I do genuinely believe it could make a good stand-in your collection if for whatever reason you don't have like the Dragon Stars one or the Figuarts standard one, which I reviewed a few months back. That one was good, just quite overscaled is the word. But yeah, let's get this figure off the turntable and take a look at the box. So yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen one of these designs for boxes. And it's not done particularly well. I mean, to be honest, I was more surprised that I actually got the box. I think at this point, we all know how likely it is for you not to get the box. I mean, Super 17, he literally didn't even come with a clamshell, but yeah. Really old style of packaging. I actually quite liked this older style of packaging that Tamashii used to do, with the sort of dot matrix print on the side. It's funny, in person, you really cannot make out that is Android 18, but in the viewfinder, in the video, you actually can make it out. It's quite cool. Obviously, the design of the dot matrix is nowhere near as good as it was in the official box back in the day. You could actually make it out. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool on there. So we've got Android number 18, Dragon Ball Z, 15 and up, blah 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 blah. On the top, infinite energy models. Yeah, and I miss this as well. They always had a sort of slogan for each figure back in the day when they released them. And yeah, there's the original blurb. Oh, how I've missed seeing you everywhere. But yeah, decent enough box. We have some images on the side, kind of poorly printed, to be honest, but yeah, it is what it is. Do we have any inkling of when this was released? I don't think so. They seem to have taken all of that information off the box, which is a shame. But yeah, back of the box, quite cool. The older style sort of comic design, the VN. Basically just showing everything from the official figure, of which this definitely is not. And you will notice something straight away. The box is showing the colour that her outfit was when this originally released. The colour we actually got is the lighter colour from the event exclusive that released a lot later. But obviously, the event exclusives, in my opinion, had far worse face print apps. The original ones are still like the best looking, in my opinion, for the Androids. So yeah, speaking of which, let's take a look at them, shall we? So in terms of accessories, for its time, it actually came with a decent amount. Not as much as some figures at the time. Like, I remember Trunks came with an absolute ton of accessories back in the day. Even though that figure wasn't the best, even back then. It was a bit too small, but anyway. We get 2 heads, 1 normal, 1 windswept. We get 4 faces. And yeah, like I said, even though these are bootleg faces and they are not by any means the best quality, I still say they're better than the ones that came with the Tournament of Power Androids. Like, being deadly serious here. We get the stern face, which this one seems to have the worst issue with the eyes. This one seems to be a bit too far over. We get the smirk, or the smile. We get the smile looking down, cross-eyed, kind of looking at Krillin. And a looking down face, which I'm assuming this is the kissing face for Krillin. But the the moulding is so poor, you can't actually make it out. I'm assuming that's what that one is. We get 4 pairs of hands, pair of fists, pair of splayed open key blast hands, relaxed hands, and martial arts posing hands, which are very cool. I like these a lot. A pair of crossed arms. We will see if it's as easy to put this on as I remember the official one being. And yeah, this was the first figure in the line to include a DLC for another character. Yeah, this is the, the very worried, oh god, is she going to kill me face for Krillin, and also the deactivation remote for the androids, also for Krillin. So yeah, quite cool. Unfortunately, this has suffered in the bootleg process. It's far too small even for the original Krillin. I'll show a comparison right now. This is the Cell Saga 3.0 Krillin that we got, the one that kicked off the 3.0 line. And yeah, as you can see, that is comically small. There's no way that is ever going to fit. Plus the skin tone is way off. So yeah, unfortunately, if you're buying this bootleg for that face, don't bother. It's not going to work. Really, it isn't. Also, I cannot remember if the original, both of the hairs came with the sort of pegs to attach to the body. Plus, I noticed on this figure, quite a few of the joints have been replaced with Figma style joints, which is kind of strange, but I mean, it works. So yeah, instead of the standard peg, we just get a straight peg there. But yeah, the windswept here does not have a peg, and I cannot remember for the life of me if you had to swap that out on the original or not. But yeah, really nice. The hair sculpts are actually quite good. Again, I think they're better than the new ones. I really do. Plus the fact they have a deeper yellow, which might put some people off, but I really didn't like the bleach blonde colour of the Tournament of Power Androids 18s. So yeah. Doing a quick comparison with these faces, because I do have them here. There is the stern face right there. We compare. And yeah, I know, like, it's probably just me, but I prefer the bootleg faces. I think they look more like 18. I really do, especially when they're on the heads. But yeah, off camera, you cannot tell that these Tournament of Power faces even have eyebrows. The blonde that they used was just so like light, honestly. There is standard one right there. And again, yeah, I prefer the bootleg ones, to be completely honest with you. The other two Tournament of Power faces are teeth gritted and yelling, so nothing to compare there. But yeah, let's get these out of the way and take a look at the figure itself now. So, in terms of the figure, again, like I said, the hand pegs and stuff are probably for the best, being replaced with sort of Figma style mushroom pegs, as well as the elbows, which we'll go into more detail later. I have, disclaimer, already pre-drilled these hands because I am not risking them breaking. Unlike most cheap bootlegs I review these days, I bought this with the intent to actually use it in the display somewhere. So yeah, sue me. Please don't sue me, Tamashi. I'm just a reviewer. But yeah, those go on easily enough, at least once they have been quote-unquote fixed by yours truly. And yeah, to pop the head on, that just slots in there. And not really much friction on there, but it's just enough to keep it on. So what you're meant to do with the heads to put the faces on is to remove the front bangs entirely. I always found that was a bit like overcomplicating things. You can literally just shove it underneath the front of the face bangs and it will pop in on its own. And yeah, obviously because it's a bootleg, there is a bit of a seam line there, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And yeah, just like that, she is back together. So in terms of details for the figure, for a bootleg, they're not too bad. Obviously, the vest, or the jacket, sorry, is missing pretty much all of the gold details for her buttons, which, I mean, I can easily put them in myself. Bit annoying though, considering that they used gold on the belt anyway, so bit of a waste of time, to be honest. Boots look to be painted in a glossy brown or a mustard brown with a darker brown straps and a little bit of metallic there. For some reason they didn't appear to have put the, well, I've noticed two issues here straight off the bat. One that is she's got two left feet. If you can see the shape that this foot goes, it's pointing that way. Not something I would have noticed unless I was looking at the soles, but yeah, you can see they kind of ran out of paint on this side for the other sole. So yeah, a bit of a strange one. But yeah, other than that, the only sort of detail work is on the faces. So yeah, let's quickly see if the folded arms can go on easy enough before we get on to articulation. There we go. Her head fell off. Yeah, that's decent. Just a straight peg with a slight mushroom to it, to sort of hold it in place at least. Let's see. They seem to have simplified the shoulders somewhat, and it's making it a bit of a pain in the backside to keep them upright. I suppose this will be as easy as making sure this cap is up first. Pop that on. There we go, like so. And then doing the same over this side. Yeah, that went on pretty painlessly. I gotta say, that is, yeah, that's pretty decent. I like it. I did really enjoy how easily the folded arms went on the original androids. 17s actually went on the same way as 24,000 power level Vegeta's, and that they popped into his chest instead of on the bicep. But yeah, that's decent enough. The plastic is soft enough that it won't snap on you, which is always good with these bootlegs. You do not want them breaking, for the love of God. Yeah, these shoulder cap pieces really starting to annoy me. They really are. There we go. And other side, make sure that cap is pushed up all the way. It likes to slide back down on you. There we go. Sorted. And let's finally put her head back on, shall we? So yeah, oh, and I almost forgot. Paint apps for the skin tone at her neck are not great, but thankfully you don't really see it. Oh, this legs went floppy. Put that in. There we go, that's better. Which, yes, brings us neatly into the articulation segment. So, head is, well, it's on a hinged joint in there, but the way that neck works, I mean, you can get up, but you're really just flexing the neck as opposed to using the joint. So, yeah, it can go down that much. Swivel, you can't really pivot because of the jacket. Shoulders can go up that far, decent enough. Can swivel. Just be careful that doesn't shear off. There we go. Bicep swivel. She doesn't have any butterfly to speak of, but between her really thin torso and this sort of peg that they have, she can get her arms decently forward, which brings me to the main issue really that I have with this figure, is that the arms look a little bit elongated, and I believe that is purely due to the poor placement of the wrist joints. They stick out quite a bit, and also the alterations they've made to the shoulders and the elbow. Yeah, bit elongated, but once she's in a pose, I don't think you're going to notice. Elbow gets past 90, does have a slight ratchet to it, which is good. That will keep the figure tight. Ball hinge at the wrist. They do not have any abs to speak of. In fact, I think it's actually been hollowed out a little bit. I recall 18 having a bit more of a waist than that. This jacket is a bit of a harder plastic than the official had. I'm saying all this off memory, by the way. Like, I no longer have the official, obviously, but yeah. 1.0s did not have articulation, mostly. I think Krillin was like the exception. Maybe Trunks. But yeah, we do have waist here. There goes her head. Waist, swivel. Can't go forward that much. Back about that much. Get back on there. Legs, unfortunately, for whatever reason, yeah, this is the same harder plastic as on the jacket. So, yeah, she isn't really kicking or anything at all. Let's pop her apart. And why is that skin tone? What are we doing? Oh my god! What? Why are we? Right, I'm putting that back on. Why? Why is her hip joint skin tone? Bootleggers, what are we playing at? That could get a man demonetized. God's sake. YouTube, that was not skin. That was just a figure. So yeah, we will not be doing the articulation of the legs. It does seem to just be a standard ball peg in there though. There's no pull down or anything, as far as I can tell. Single joint at the knee, which is pretty poor. Again, this is just a Figma style joint that they've added, which means it can bend forward and break her leg. No boot rotation. At the bottom here, is this a... Yeah, there is a ball joint. There is a ball joint there. Toes coming off. But yeah, it's been put in there so tightly that you really are not going to get much use out of it. Yeah, you can't even really get ankle articulation out of that. That's a bit of a shame. I believe the original was just a mushroom peg, maybe. So they've tried to enhance it, but in trying to enhance it, they've wasted it. And yeah, toe articulation, which, yeah, and like I said at the start, not the best figure by any means. Not the best bootleg by a long stretch, but it's still a decent stand-in. Overall, let's bring in some comparisons. Here she is next to her future hubby, Krillin. I'd say that's a pretty decent scale right there. Next up, here she is with Tournament of Power 18, which again, the way Tamashii handled the Tournament of Power androids is an absolute travesty. Like, I do not know why they messed them up so much. They have 3.0 hips that do not work like 3.0 hips, and the butterfly joint is almost non-existent. It's literally just a peg. It's not a 3.0 butterfly joint at all. So yeah, not very good, I'll be honest. But yeah, scale's a bit off. The Tournament of Power 18 is quite a bit taller than this 18, but then I can headcanon it to being because she's younger. Cell Saga, 10 plus years later for this one, so she would have grown. She was technically a teenager for the Cell Saga or the Android Saga. So yeah, comparison with the Figuarts one, which, yeah, to no one's surprise, the Figuarts one absolutely towers over this one. And I still really do like the Figuarts one, just in general. Just, yeah, the Figuarts one was just too tall. I love the figure. I was just never happy with it in my display. Now that I have this bootleg, I can pose up the Figuarts one in a fancy flight pose, and yeah, we will see how that goes. But yeah, guys, I think that will about do it. Overall, it's a £10 bootleg. Like, it doesn't break the bank by any means, and in my opinion, even with all its faults, it still fills a gap in your collection that otherwise you wouldn't really be able to fill, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, guys, a link will be in the description if you wish to purchase it. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. So yeah, guys, I'll see you next time.